Hey everyone, I am back with another Orange County housing market update where we're going to be going through some data and information talking about why the housing market continues to slow here in Orange County. And we're also going to be discussing what you can expect if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the near future, and where home prices are at and could be headed for the remainder of the year. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Orange County or the surrounding areas, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. You can find all of my contact information in the description, and I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions and let you know what I can do to help. And just real quickly, if you enjoy watching this video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button below and also subscribe. It helps us grow the channel, get this information out there to more people. And we do monthly Orange County housing market updates as well as discuss all things related to residential real estate. We're going to start by taking a look at a couple graphs that were published in the most recent Orange County housing report by Stephen Thomas, who is a local economist. And we're going to look at the expected market time first, which is the average number of days it takes to get a home in escrow after that home is placed on the market. And so this is a general kind of measure of the overall speed of the market. As the expected market time goes up, that means we're moving back towards a buyer's market where homes are taking longer to sell, price reductions are becoming more common, and in general, buyers have a little bit more room to negotiate and get some terms accepted that they may not be able to get accepted when the market is more in favor of the sellers. And so you can see here that the expected market time has grown pretty substantially this year. So that means the market has slowed down quite a bit since the start of the year. And it's quite a bit higher than what we saw during the past couple of years. And so to explain why the expected market time is increasing, we're going to look at the supply of available homes for sale in Orange County and compare that to where buyer demand is. So starting here, we're taking a look at the supply of available homes for sale. So this is the total number of homes on the market at any given point in Orange County. And you can see that we've grown quite a bit this year, and the number of homes on the market is, close to double what we saw back in 2024 and 2023. And so when you have more homes coming on the market at a faster pace and there aren't enough buyers to purchase those homes, that allows the total number of homes for sale to grow. And so moving on here, looking at the buyer demand graph, you can see that the buyer demand is at a very similar level to where it was in 2024 and 2023. So we have a similar level of buyers out there looking for a home, and we have almost double the number of homes for sale. So this is the main reason why the market has slowed down. More homes are coming on the market this year compared to those years, and the buyers have not come out and really increased their number. So this is allowing the inventory to grow. We have more homes accumulating on the market, and if this continues to happen, the market is going to continue to move in favor of buyers. So now we're going to take a look at how home prices have been affected by the slowing housing market here in Orange County. And we're going to take a look at a couple different sources. The first one we're going to look at is the median home price for all single-family homes, condos, and townhomes in Orange County. And we get this information from InfoSparks, they get their data directly from the California Regional Multiple Listing Service. And so despite the fact that we're seeing the housing market slow down and we're feeling the housing market slow down, the median home price actually jumped up $25,000 in June compared to May, which was a 2% increase on a month-over-month basis, moving the median home price to $1,250,000 for June. And they have the median home price up 2.5% on a year-over-year basis. Now, part of this can be explained by the fact that the homes that are actually closing escrow in June typically went into escrow back in May. And so the market was still a little bit hotter back in May. So that could be explaining why the median home price jumped up in June, even though, we can really feel that the market slowed down in June. And then we're also going to look at a couple of home value indexes. Now, home value indexes are typically considered a better way to analyze home prices, a more accurate way to look at them. The only issue with home value indexes is that there's typically about a month delay. So we're now looking at data from back in May. And so the first one we're looking at is the Zillow Home Value Index. And this is again for single family homes and condos. And it is seasonally adjusted. And so year over year, they have home prices up 4.6% in Orange County. But on a month over month basis, they actually have home prices dropped 0.4% in May. So the home price indexes are telling us something slightly different than what the median home price is. And also keep in mind that these are, seasonally adjusted, whereas the median home price data is not. And then the next one we're looking at is the Freddie Mac Home Price Index, which tells a similar story to Zillow. They also had the month over month numbers in May that home prices dropped 0.4%. And they have the year over year numbers as up 1.89%, which is slightly less than the Zillow Home Value Index, which, of course, these companies, they have slightly different data sets and they use slightly different methodology. So you are going to get some slight discrepancies in the numbers that they're putting out. So now that we've gone through the data and the charts, let's talk about what this actually means to you if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the near future. And we're going to start with buyers, and I've written down a few points here that we're going to go through. So as the market slows down and homes are taking longer to sell, this means as a buyer, you are less likely going to be competing with other buyers to purchase the same home. Now, of course, multiple offers are still possible. If a home comes on the market and it's priced too low, under its fair market value, there's still a pretty good chance that that home's going to get multiple offers and possibly sell over the asking price. But in general, it's becoming less and less likely you're going to be competing with other people. And so as competition decreases, it's becoming less and less likely that homes are going to sell over the asking price, because what pushes a home to sell over the asking price is when there are multiple buyers bidding on the same home typically. So if you really only have one buyer that's negotiating on the home, that home is a lot less likely going to sell over the asking price. You're also more likely to get better terms accepted in your offer. If you are competing with multiple buyers, it would be a good idea to really tighten up your offer, strengthen up your terms, not ask for things that really aren't necessary, because anytime you're asking the seller to give a concession or give you more time in escrow, all these things start to weaken your offer compared to other buyers. But if you're not competing with other buyers, there are some things that you can now potentially get back into your offer that protect you as a buyer and potentially help you get a better deal on the home. And you're also, as a buyer, more likely to be able to get some repairs or concessions negotiated in escrow. So once you get your offer accepted on the home, then you can have your home inspection. And if you learn about some issues with the home that you weren't aware of before, this is a chance where you can either ask the seller to repair them, or you can ask them to give you a closing cost credit so you can get those items taken care of after close of escrow. And as the market slows down, if that home, that you wrote an offer on, if there were no other buyers that wanted to buy that home and you were the only one, well, that seller is going to be a lot more likely to work with you when it comes to asking for repairs or credits later on. Now we're going to go through a few points if you're thinking about selling a home in the near future. And the first point, which is probably the most important, is to price your home correctly from the start according to its fair market value. Your best chance of selling your home for the highest price is during the first couple weeks of you putting it on the market. This is when you get the most buyer attention. The new listings always get all the attention, so this is the best chance you have of selling your home for the highest price. If you come on the market overpriced, you're going to sit there, you're going to get very few showings, and you're going to get very little buyer activity during this critical window. And you're probably not going to get any good offers from serious buyers who want to pay fair market value for your home. So if you price it correctly from the start, you're really maximizing that first couple weeks of coming on the market, which is critical. and this is when you're most likely going to get the highest price for your home. And then the next point here is it's important to work with a strong negotiator. If you watch the buyer points, I was talking about how as the market slows down, it's more likely that a buyer can get more favorable terms accepted, and it's more likely that they're going to be able to negotiate a repair or a concession during escrow after they have their home inspection. Well, as a seller, obviously you would like to mitigate the amount of concessions that you give and the amount of favorable terms you give to the buyer. So you want to maximize every dollar, of course, everybody does. So it's important to work with a strong negotiator who understands how to reduce the amount of repairs you do or concessions you give in escrow. And so we do things a little bit different than most other agents. We have strategies we use that really helps mitigate the amount of concessions you give when it comes to repairs or issues discovered with the home. So if you want to learn how we do that, feel free to call me. More than happy to expand on that in a phone call. And then you really need strong marketing. Again, as the market slows down, you want to be the house that gets out there to the most number of buyers. If you are going to get multiple offers, it's going to be during that first couple week window, and it's going to be because you worked with an agent who had a really strong marketing plan and got a lot of buyers in the door to look at your home. So as the market slows down, the marketing becomes more and more important for you as a seller. And again, we do a lot of things differently. We do a lot of extra marketing on top of what most realtors would typically do for you. So if you want to learn a little bit more about how we market homes, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. And then the other thing is we do offer free home valuation reports. So if you're kind of thinking about selling or you're getting ready to sell and you're just curious for purposes of budgeting and planning what your home might sell for, just shoot me a text, call me, send me an email, and I can put that report together for you and get it over to you.